I've started into this without a proper plan. Basically, it's October 1st. I dyed my hair pretty epic and cool. About a year ago, I made a video. The not necessarily premise, but the kind of sentiment was that I wish I appeared more alternative externally, considering what my interests have been my whole life, etc. And it was just a lovely full circle moment to kind of wake up this morning with my freshly dyed hair and put on my new makeup style and just kind of go, oh, I won. I did it. There's another thing as well. I made that video during a period of unemployment, and I got some fun news the other day about the job I currently have. So basically, long story short, I'm not going to have it much longer. It's all just come full circle in a really weird way. I have made so many videos in the past year, which I've never gotten to the point of uploading. I hate to say, I've filmed a lot, I've edited a lot. Depending on how you look at it, I've made 3 songs. One is like, I just need to sit down and decide if I'm happy with it and release it one day between now and a couple weeks from now. But on the other hand, I could also wait until I don't have a job and then really smash it out, you know. But yeah, I just figured I would come sit down and give like a little overview of what I've been doing. I have like a slight, I don't even know if I could say following. There's like 4 people who care, but that's enough for me. And every time you talk about yourself, there's more people who might care. So I just thought I'd come and talk about how my year has been, essentially. So this time a year ago, as I said, I was unemployed. I had just moved out from my like childhood home, which isn't for the first time. I did go to university, but it was during COVID, and I lived in 3 different like houses, flats while I was at university. Then I lived at home for a year, and then I had the opportunity to live away with friends, and I always knew it wouldn't be like forever, but I thought it might be like 1 to 3 years. And then obviously I struggled a bit to get a job at first, and I started to get quite worried that I was gonna fall apart very quickly. Luckily I got a job. That job was only seasonal. Luckily they could keep me afterwards. So I had this constant up and down the whole time I was there, where I had no idea if I was gonna be there for 6 months or 3 years. And then finally, when it was approaching a year, if we were staying, we'd still have to move within the area. Flat hunting just went from going so well to not working at all so quickly because of like a couple of circumstantial changes. And I decided I would just be better off making the most of the months, weeks I had left, and then committing to like moving home and trying to sort out all of my life. There's a real irony to the fact that just reminded me, I got a text this morning from Psychiatry UK, babe, telling me I can now book an ADHD assessment. I have been trying to get an ADHD assessment 3 times in 3 years, and technically for 5 years, so I can finally sort that out. I need to learn to drive again, because I did learn, but not to a degree where one could let me take a test in order to pass. It just wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have worked. And that all sounds really good if that was happening alongside having stable employment. That's over. Long story short, I worked somewhere last year. I got transferred about 2 months ago. And before that, I wasn't expecting to have a job, because I was expecting to be like leaving the job, you know. And then suddenly I did have a job, and then suddenly I don't again. And it's just like every month of the past 12 months, my like vision of the year ahead has changed. It's got some ups and some downs, because at no point have I been like, I'm so excited for my life, like this is perfect. But also at no point have I been like, I have to get out of this situation. Sometimes I can't quite help the situation I've ended up in, and then the situation I'm in has like a knock-on effect on other situations, and it makes me like, what if I had just done something really small and that felt inconsequential at another time, and everything had worked out way better. It's hard to let go of those feelings sometimes. Last year, this time of year, October, November, I made my first ever song, like proper song, start to finish song. I'd actually started making it in, I think, April. And then when I was unemployed, I was like, let's just finish this up. I was like, hey, I could follow this up with another song and then an EP and then another song and then an EP and then an album, you know. But then I got employed, and to be completely honest, out of the 2, which did I probably want? Probably the employment. And then that was basically me set until this month in terms of that job. But I did manage to squeeze out one more song in July, which is actually a song that I I don't even know when to say I started this song. There are some lyrics literally from like 2018, 2019. Most of the lyrics and the beat as well are from like 2022. And then I finally, in like winter 2024, as in like start of the year winter, started really working it out. And I'm sure like people who have any creative endeavor will relate to this. There are some ideas that you cling onto for when you have more skills supposedly in the future. You're like, no, but I want this to sound or look really good, so I better not do it yet because I'm not that good. But the reality is you will have newer, better ideas to realize by then. So you may as well realize the ideas you're having with the brain you have now, with the skills you have now. I don't know how else to phrase it. Oh, I had a... Guys, I literally went viral. It was crazy. Let me tell you this in another order, actually. So, at the start of the year, when I thought my seasonal job was going to end, I applied to loads of volunteering positions, and I got two, and then my job didn't end, and then I had two volunteering positions at the same time. And there was a few moments where I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, it was a lot. And that's another reason why I ended up deciding to make the most out of the year and then come home. If I was to stay, I'd have to choose one of these to quit so I didn't burn myself out. But if I leave and go home to my parents, then I can do all three of these things until the end of my lease, and I won't be like fully burnt out by the end. So my two volunteering positions, one was in a charity shop doing online listing, which, as I am an eBay and Vinted girly, was pretty second nature and I liked, and I feel like went okay. And that was the odd thing the things that rock up in charity shops, if you're going to the same charity shop every week, you will have some crazy moments. I know literally my last video was about finding things in charity shops that like, girl, is that meant for me? But I found an NCT album in the charity shop, and I found an Anne Stokes Oracle deck in the charity shop, and I was like, and this is upstairs before stuff goes on the shop floor, and I was like, it's like it came just for me. So I got both of those things, obviously. Then the other one was doing upcycling, so sewing or other textile crafts with stuff which either can't be sold or has been on the shop floor for weeks and months and hasn't been sold in its current form. That, I think, just gave me an opportunity to improve my like sewing and making up of like, I guess, patterns on the spot, and just thinking of things to do with old clothes. There's only so many clothes I can own in the first place in order to have ideas of what to upcycle them into, you know? And I don't really want to go around, I don't want to be like too wasteful with making things that don't fit or suit me or that I wouldn't wear myself. But then pretty much everything I made in that role sold, and I know because I'll go in the next week and I wouldn't be there anymore. That was quite exciting. It was just such a chance to make things that I wouldn't usually wear myself. And then because of that, I finally got around to doing some of my own like planned upcycling, because I'd like tested out the techniques on other things and felt like I knew what I was doing more. Then was doing bleach art on this hoodie I've had since 2020. I have a feeling it was like on sale. As you know, I'm quite like into, like, I much prefer buying secondhand clothes than firsthand, and I really haven't bought many firsthand clothes at all other than like merchandise in the past 5 years. But then if I quote unquote need something or like really want something in particular and I can't find a secondhand for the life of me, and I'm buying like something you kind of have to get firsthand, like socks or like pajamas, on a website, I will look through that sale for those things. And I bought this yellow hoodie, and then it had been banished to a pile of like, I should really do something to that to make me want to wear it again. Finally, I decided to do some bleach art on it, and then I posted TikTok of the outcome, and I was genuinely so ill. Like, you can't make it up. I was planning to go outside, literally holding my breath the whole way to the incredibly nearby like local supermarket and just get what I needed and then run. And then I did that, and then in the lift on the way back to the apartment, I opened my phone and I had gone viral. Like, not really, but like a little bit. So I think it has like 500,000 views now, and it's really not that big a deal. No one knows my face, no one knows my music, no one gives a shit. But it kind of changed my approach, I guess, to like social media. But it was all happening at a time where I was so busy. I think that happened at the end of May, and then for all of June and July I was going back and forth between here and where I lived at the time, just because I'd like booked myself in for lots of things up and down the country. Every single time I was taking a huge suitcase so I could move stuff. I moved back here like the last week of July and got my room all set up for like my new life. I just didn't really know how to, I couldn't capture what I'd captured. I knew that would always be like inevitable. But now it's literally to the point where, and I know there's like a lot of discussion about TikTok algorithm is always changing, etc. I think what's annoying is because obviously I'm trying to make like art and music, and it feels like a random video of me doing something else has killed the account I was trying to build, which is like really stupid and it doesn't really matter. And my kind of debate now is I legally, this is why I'm gonna wait a while to upload this, I legally can't tell anyone about my job. Basically, I haven't been let go. What's happened is the whole place is going, and my plan would be to go back to my old job that I had before I moved, but they will know where I work currently, and I would have to lie. I would have to say, oh, I'm planning to leave or something. I can't lie. I'm really bad at it. So yeah, that's my current dilemma, is I can't do anything about this for a little while more. But there is a part of me that's like, maybe it would be good to have a couple of weeks of November where I don't work and I can get all of my like social media and music and stuff just like lined up for another era. It doesn't mean I'm trying to like blow up again, but just so that, because I've just fallen into a bit of a slump, I guess. I went through a little phase when I first moved back of making a lot of like TikToks and Instagram posts. And now on my days off, I spend the entire day like tidying the room or doing chores. Yeah, just trying to sort out the things I've left in my wake during the days when I work, because my work is, the job I have right now is not crazy strenuous and the hours aren't super long, but because of the commute and taking public transport, and I know this is incredibly common, like this is more common than not, this is what most experiences of having a job are, I am out of the house for 12 hours usually, maybe not quite, like at least 10 for an 8-hour shift. I get through little phases where instead of opening any social media or anything, I'm pretty good at opening projects to work on in Logic. However, there's nothing to work on if I haven't had a free day where I can warm up and record vocals, for example, or where I can figure out and then record an instrumental part. I need like the free time to do the foundation building, and it's the same with drawing, even on the train and in the staff room, because it was digital coloring on my iPad of things that I'd already drawn before, whereas if I was to actually try and draw from scratch in those environments, it's just too hard, to be honest. But yeah, you know what? Because obviously my first video was doing a Blythe doll, and I want another Blythe doll, but the problem is I can't decide which. When I say which one I want, what I mean is I have like 4 eBay listings saved, and they're all different prices in different condition with different hair colors and different like starting features. I can't decide between them, and I don't want to end up getting multiple when I've just found out I don't have a job. However, this can lead into another point as well. I was like, I could get them all and then face up them and sell them, even if it's not for like huge profit, just for like the same, just for fun, because I think that would be cool. There are a couple of things I have around. This is quite exciting. Following on from my volunteering job, I bought some things in charity shops in the past like 2 weeks, which I'm planning to upcycle, but not for me, which I'm planning to upcycle and then sell. And that's where I'm like, hey, I'm not saying I can make a full living off of doing that right away, but if I don't manage to go back to my old job, or go back to my old job right away, or get that many hours if I do go, that's a cool thing to explore, and that could be quite exciting. I don't want to give you spoilers, but then I also kind of do. I bought some like faux fur in a charity shop, like still in the like packaging, and I was planning to make like really fluffies, but it's grey and it's red, and I do wear grey, but I already have like multiple pairs of grey leg warmers, and I don't wear red, and I feel like it will clash with my like purple and pink, but I have like a cool idea of what I could do for someone else. So yeah, finally, you may have noticed I actually made a music video, like lyric video, just in this room for my last song, just for funsies. It's called King of Hearts. It's on my channel right now. You can go check it out if you would like to. Thank you for watching. I'm hoping it's not going to be a year between videos anymore, but like that's what I said last time. I keep running to this account when I'm unemployed and then getting employed again, which is the better option, unfortunately, but I'd like to be making cool things. I do have plans to release a song for autumn called The Fall, so when that comes I will link it wherever available. And thank you for checking it out. Thank you very much. Bye.